Before we get into the episode, I am thrilled to announce that the EntreMD Business School is open for enrollment. The EntreMD Business School is the only school of its kind for physicians who want to build 6, 7, and multiple 7-figure businesses. Over the last 2 years, we have had hundreds of doctors go through the school with unbelievable results. Some of them run brands, some of them run private practices, some of them are coaches, some have other kinds of service-based businesses or product-based businesses. And we've had people come in and cross the 6-figure milestone, cross the 7-figure milestone, cross the multiple 7-figure milestone. You will be in a place where you'll get the coaching, the community, the accountability that you need to thrive as an entrepreneur, especially in the times that we're in. So maybe you've been following me for a while. Maybe you've been getting so much out of the EntreMD podcast and you've been wondering, how can I work with Dr. Una and the community more? Well, this is your chance. Come join us in the EntreMD Business School. It is application only. So go to entremd.com/business to turn in your application. I cannot tell you how many doctors have made statements like this. I recovered my investment in the first week. I recovered my investment in my bank account in the first 90 days. This is the best investment I've made in myself ever. I want you to have that kind of story, not just a story of building a great business that serves a lot and earns a lot, but having a business that gives you the freedom to live life on your terms. So don't wait any longer. entremd.com/business. And now for the episode. Having great knowledge is amazing, but at the same time, you have the responsibility of packaging it properly so that people will get the knowledge that you want. Now that I want to talk about it, the question becomes, what is the thumbnail caption that will make somebody stop and watch this? What is the title that will further convince them this is the video you want to watch? That's the packaging that then makes the people stay. Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD podcast, where it's all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una. Do you find yourself frustrated because you want to start a YouTube channel and you're not sure of the next step to take or how to make it successful? Or maybe you already have one, or maybe you've had one for over a year and you're just not getting the results you want to see. Well, on this episode of the EntreMD podcast, I am going to show you how I started a brand new channel 10 months ago and took it to 10,000 subscribers and 346,000 views in 10 months. So I'm going to give you all the beans, okay? I want to give you a little bit of a backstory so you have the context. I started this YouTube channel 10 months ago, and this is not for EntreMD. You know, I've gone really heavy on podcasting with EntreMD, but I have a faith-based mentorship call that I would do every morning. And I would not get the time, you know, it's an hour-long call. And I just find I'd run out of time to teach people what I wanted to teach them and the things that I knew and all of that stuff. And so I thought, man, it would be nice for me to have a YouTube channel where I can, you know, just go all these things I want to train them on and teach them on. I can just, you know, teach them and put it on the YouTube channel. So that way people can just go on for reference. And when there are questions and stuff, I can just say, go to this YouTube video, you know, you get a link, everybody gets a link, right? So that was kind of the thinking behind it. And then the secondary reason is, you know, I am a big fan of teaching things that I've done and things that I know as opposed to just theory, right? And so I was like, this would be a great opportunity for me to practice with YouTube so I can come back and tell my clients, like, you know, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, and all of those kind of things, because I am a firm believer that every physician should own and build out and curate a dominant personal brand. And the reason for that is you're going to need that brand for everything. That brand will get you promoted at work. That brand will get you raises. That brand will get you clients and patients. That brand will be the foundation for any other business you want to go on and start. That brand will get you to the point where you have best-selling books. That brand will get you brand deals. That brand will give you opportunities to be on boards and to invest in things. It will open so many doors. It will get people coming to meet you to say, I want to work with you. Like, people find your brand and choose to work with you. It's amazing what a brand will do for you, right? And so I have podcasting down. I was like, okay, I can show them, about YouTube as well. And of course, I've started experimenting with blogs and all, and I'm going to have something for that in a little bit. But so I was like, okay, great. I get to get this legacy body of work for my mentees. And then I also get to, practice and play around with YouTube so I can come back to show my clients, what to do and all of that stuff. Now, I want to be very clear. If you notice, I did this with another organization and I've told you the reason why. And so if you have a podcast that is killing it, if you want to add on YouTube, you can do that. But please, we do not kill cash cows. We do not kill things that are working. Okay. So make sure you don't take it that way. Okay. So what numbers did we hit? What stats did we hit? We hit 10,000 subscribers in 10 months, actually a little under 10 months, and then 346,000 views in 10 months. Okay. And, so for me, I was like, that is absolutely phenomenal. And so I posted about it on Facebook. I said, I've been playing around with this and, I'm so grateful that we hit 10,000 subscribers, grateful for the opportunity to teach about the intersection between faith and success every single week. And then someone said, okay, well, I have a YouTube channel that I've had for over a year. Will you do a webinar or a masterclass and teach us about all these things? I was like, well, turns out that, the next day is my recording day. So I'll just record it. So here we are. Okay. All right. So there are three things that worked. There are three things that I blame for this result. Okay. And I'll tell you what they are. The first thing is, this was the most shocking to me. I did not see this one coming. And that is the YouTube algorithm itself, right? Like the YouTube algorithm itself is one of the big reasons why we hit these numbers. And I'll explain what that is. So at the time, when we started the YouTube channel, I would have maybe 200 people come on live for these mentorship calls that I do every morning. So for me, I thought the growth will primarily be, from them, sharing and all of those kind of things. And so in the beginning, when we'd have new videos come out and then they came out every Monday, I would say, okay, this is a new video for the week. Go check it out. Make sure you're sharing all of those kind of things. There's such an amazing group of people, right? So they're watching, they're sharing, they're doing all of those things. And so, we had these videos go out and a lot of times by the 30-day mark, the ones that did really well would have 400 views and things like that. And that was mind blowing to me. Like when we hit our first 1,000 subscribers, when we had our first 10,000 views, it was all amazing. Like I've learned to enjoy like every aspect of the journey. So absolutely enjoyed it. And I was so grateful to them. And I'll show you some stats as far as what they did. They're just a phenomenal group of people. Our best video after the 30-day mark would be about 400. And then by the time we got to the 19th video, okay, 19th, we had a video that went, for my channel viral. So it was an outlier, right? That video in the first 30 days did 37,000 views, right? So I want you to think about it. We had 400 for the best performing, and this did 37,000, right? Okay. So we had that. So 37,000, and there were 1,934 new subscribers from that video. It was just like absolute bunkers. And so I started looking at it. I'm like, okay, what happened? What led to the virality of this video? And what I found is it was the algorithm. Okay. So at a 30-day mark, the number of new viewers was like 2,138 new viewers and 29 returning videos. Like that's one of the days its peak, like the day had the most number of views. And so most of them were people who didn't know anything about the channel. So it wasn't necessarily directly from my audience, right? And so I started studying it like, okay, what just happened here? And I found out that, the YouTube algorithm can be your employee. Like it can be the chief marketing officer of your YouTube channel if you would give it what it wants. So what does the channel want? You have to remember that YouTube is a business. It's not just this place that just puts videos so it lets people put videos so they can share their videos. No, it is a business and they make money from ad revenue, right? And the more time people spend on the channel, on the platform, the more money they make. Okay. So in order to have the algorithm work for you, and show up like your employee, what you want to do is you want to give it what it wants, which is people on the platform. You want to partner with it to help it get what it wants. Okay. All right. So it wants people on the platform. It wants you to get people to click, and it wants you to get people to watch, and it wants you to get people to continue to watch other videos, right? So if you have a video where people are clicking on it, they are watching it and they're going on to watch another video, chances are the algorithm will be like, oh my goodness, this is like, we love this person. Where has she been? Let's show everybody her stuff, right? Okay. So the question is then, how do you get people to click, watch, and continue to watch, right? Okay. So when it comes to clicking, I want you to think about your own behavior on YouTube, right? You are most likely scrolling through and you are looking at the thumbnails, right? And when you look at a thumbnail, either the design of the thumbnail or the caption on the thumbnail catches your eye, then you click on that video. Like, let me see what's going on there, right? And so that's what happens. And the title can play into that as well, right? And so that meant to me that I need to become better at thumbnails. Now, not the design. I didn't touch the design of it at all. I let my team do that, but I started paying attention to the captions you're going to put there, right? Like, what are the captions you put that make people want to watch the video? This is especially important for us as physicians, because as physicians, we love to teach. And so sometimes we put some teachy things on there that nobody cares about, right? Someone may say, these are the normal colors of poop. I'm a pediatrician. Okay. So yeah, they ask us about this all the time. These are the normal colors of poop on a thumbnail. Nobody cares, right? Is my kid's green poop normal? Then they're like, yeah, is it normal? It needs to have some kind of intrigue, or, there's some curiosity to it, or it's contradictory, or it's provocative. And when I say provocative, what I mean is it makes people think. It challenges their way of thinking. Like the first viral video we did was why Christians are broke. It's like, what? First of all, we're not broke, or are we broke, or we're supposed to be broke, or like, it's all these things. And people are like, wait, what? What did she say about it? Right? And boom. So then people click on it. So your thumbnails need to provoke some kind of emotion or curiosity or confusion, or, you know what I mean? Like, not confusion in a bad way, but like, it's kind of challenging what they've always believed. That's with the thumbnail. And then the title is kind of explaining the thumbnail, right? And explaining the thumbnail. The thumbnail became something I paid attention to. The title became something that I paid attention to. And the better I got at it, the better the channel did. Okay. So that's how you get them to click. As far as getting them to watch, then, you know how they talk about when when you're doing a talk, the hook. I didn't know this, but apparently there is a metric they measure on YouTube that is your 30-second retention. Who thought you would need to work for 30 seconds? But your 30-second retention. So after 30 seconds of your video, what percentage of people are still watching? Now, for the video that I told you about, the first one that went viral, that number was 78%, which is a phenomenal number, right? Now, Mr. Beast and the rest of them will shoot for 80, but 78 is wonderful. And so when you do that, that's their marker that you're able to get people to click. You're able to get them to watch, and you're kind of holding them, right? Like you're holding them in a way. And so I started paying attention to my hook. So when I want to do a video, I'm no longer like, oh, I want to talk about this. I want to teach about that. What I started doing is like, okay, I know what I want to teach, but I got to package it in such a way that people will get it. Please hear me when I say that. Like I'm going to say that again, right? As a physician, you have so much great information. You have so much great knowledge to pass on and all of those things. But great knowledge poorly packaged will not be received. And then you don't get what you want, which is people listening to the knowledge. So having great knowledge is amazing. But at the same time, you have the responsibility of packaging it properly so that people will get the knowledge that you want. So I can decide, okay, I want to talk about this topic. The one I just did was like, the 7 biggest money mistakes, right? That's what I want to talk about. Now that I want to talk about it, the question becomes, what is the thumbnail caption that will make somebody stop and watch this? What is the title that will further convince them this is the video you want to watch? What is the 30-second hook that I use that will make them know in the first 30 seconds, this is going to be worth your while, stay and watch it, right? So that's the packaging that then makes the people stay, right? Okay, good. So that's how we get them to watch. That's how we get them to click. That's how we get them to watch. And then even within the video, like 7 biggest mistakes, that already means there's 7. And then I would say something to the tune of, and I'm not lying, that, oh, you definitely want to stay for number 7 because that's the most important one, right? Or, like I'll talk more about that as we go along in this video. You're kind of taking them along. Now, you may be thinking like I used to think, oh, we shouldn't take all that. But this is the deal, right? do you want to be somebody who creates content that's transformational or not? If you do want to be that person, then having the knowledge is one thing, but having the skill of influencing people to receive the knowledge is another thing. And you need both. Kind of like we talk about serving and earning, you need both. Okay. All right. So we got them to click because of our thumbnail design, our thumbnail caption, and our title. We got them to watch, right? Based on the 30-second, retention, the hook, our strategies there, and kind of keeping them till the end. And then we want them to watch another video. So then my strategy became, as I'm prepping the video, I'm then wondering what is the next video I'm going to recommend. So when they're done watching the one they're on, they go to the next one to watch that, right? And so think about it. So I have my knowledge, and knowledge is great. I have my expertise, and expertise is great. And I also have what the thumbnail design is going to be, what the thumbnail caption is going to be, what the title is going to be, what my 30-second hook is going to be, what I'm going to do to hook them to watch the whole video, and what the next video is going to be. I don't start recording a video till I have these 6 things. I don't even start, right? Because the knowledge is one, and then these 6 things make up the packaging that makes the algorithm happy, because then what it does is it then shows that video to many other people. So when I looked at the stat for that video that went viral, 78% of the views came from YouTube recommending it to viewers, not from my audience. 78%. So which means you have to have the audience. I'll talk about the audience piece next, but you also have to recognize that the YouTube algorithm is a whole machine. And if you can get the machine to work for you, then that's amazing. Like that's so amazing. Okay. All right. So I hope you got this piece, because this piece is a huge part of it. I didn't know about it at all. So I didn't care about thumbnails. I didn't care about the caption. I just named it what I wanted to name, and I just taught what I wanted to teach. But if you truly want to leave a legacy, if you truly want to have transformational content, then you got to do it right. You got to change the way you do it. The good thing about this skill is that you can use it for YouTube. You can use it for a podcast. You can use it when you're doing a talk. It just makes you a lot more strategic, right? Like you're not only thinking about the knowledge because it's only a portion of it, but you're also thinking about the packaging. So what made it work? Number 1 was the algorithm. Number 2 was my audience. Okay. So when I started this YouTube channel, I had about 200 people who come on every morning for this mentorship prayer call that I would do. And so we've run this call for 4.5 years at this point. And I could say, like they know me well. I've served them for so long. I show up every morning. I shouldn't need to tell them to go watch the video. They know my work is good, so this is good, so they'll just watch it. That is called entitlement. Okay, please hear me when I say this. Like people tell me this all the time. This person has been my patient before. I shouldn't need to tell them that they need to continue with me. That is called entitlement. This person has been, like in my program before, and it's time to renew. They should just know that they need to renew. That is called entitlement. Nobody cares. That's not the way the world works. If you want them to continue to work with you, you will sell them on that. Okay. So when we first started this, we had videos going out every Monday. We have it a little more frequently now, but we had them every Monday. And every Monday, I would sell them. I would have the thumbnail already, uploaded. So I'll show it up as a slide. I will tell them why they want to watch the video. I will sell them on what I believe in, right? I believe that I can live a life of global impact. I can live a life that touches many other people. And one of the ways I do that is by sharing resources. And so I'm like, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. I tell them to do 3 things. I want you to watch it because I want you to get the content, and I want you to use it to change your life. And then I want you to engage with it. So like the video, comment, right? Engage. Why are you doing that? For 2 reasons. One is I know you got to see it and all of that stuff. But the other thing is that you're telling the algorithm, this is good stuff, show it to other people. And so there are people who you didn't even directly share it to, but they also get to experience it because you engaged with the video, right? So I tell them to do that. And then I tell them to share. So watch, engage, share, watch, engage, share. How often? Every time there was a video. Every single time there was a video. Every time we had a new video. Every single time. Why am I saying that? Because if you want what you want, you have to be willing to do what it takes to get what you want. Every single time there was a new video. I did not say, they've watched 10 of them and they know it's every Monday, they should know. I don't do that. right? Okay. But let me show you the stats though, right? I can't tell you the stats on how many views are because of them, right? But I can give you some other stats. Now, over the course of 10 months, we have had 18,000 likes on our videos. 18,000. Okay. And we have had 4,000 comments. 4,000. And this doesn't, I've done some live, so this doesn't include the ones that come up live, but on the replays, 4,000. Okay. And the videos have been shared 21,000 times in 10 months. 21,000 times it has been shared. Okay. Now, of course, not all of them are from my audience, but you can then see that selling them on watch, engage, share, that it works, right? That it works. Okay. The third thing that worked is consistency. And you'll be like, oh my goodness, Dr. Una, Captain Obvious, why are you saying that? Oh my goodness, because it's a little bit of a roller coaster, right? So first of all, you launch it and it's so exciting. The first day we launched, we had 297 views. We had 93 people subscribe. It was like, this is amazing. And you go like, this is what will happen every day. And then it doesn't, right? And so we did videos every week and sometimes twice a week until we got to the 19th video. It was at the 19th video that we had that video that did 37,000 in 30 days. So now it's been a few months. So it's at 78,000 or so because it kept going. Like it kept going at like full speed ahead till it got to about 50,000 and it's just been growing since then. That ability to continue until now, after I had that first viral video, I was like, we finally arrived. We got the formula. We know what we're doing. The next video, 1,000 views. After that, 1,500 views. Now, granted, it was no longer the 400 that we used to have, but what happened to 37,000? What happened to 50,000, right? And at the same time, I had been learning more because I learned a lot from that video as far as, the thumbnails, the title, the 30-second hook, that's when I learned that stuff. And so I'm like, but now I have it and it's just not working, quote unquote, right? But I never stopped. I never slowed down. I never lost my enthusiasm. I never produced lower quality content. I never did any of that. I just kept hitting. I'm like, okay, well, we're working on it. Let's keep going. Because I believe all work works. I believe it's always working. So anyway, so I did that. And then I kept going. It was not until video number 54, before we had another video that quote unquote went viral, if you will. And I was like, golly, what in the world, right? And so being able to go from what you perceive as undesired result to undesired result without losing enthusiasm is what you need for YouTube. Like if you're going to show up and you're going to be led by the algorithm, then you're going to have a lot of problems. I know why I'm there. I'm not there to produce viral videos, but I do want people to see my videos, right? I am there because I want to create a legacy body of work that my mentees can use, that my children can use, that, people like, I have this issue. I'm like, here's a link. Like I wanted to have a library of legacy content that can change lives even when I'm asleep, even when I'm on vacation. And I think this whole concept really got me when this was during the pandemic. I was watching a YouTube video and it was a YouTube video by somebody that had died like 10 years before then. And it was so transformational. I'm like, how is this person changing my life from the grave? And it dawned on me. I was like, you can really live forever. Like in this context, like you can live forever. You can be gone and 50 years later, your work is still your work is more impactful than the work of some people who are alive. So I was like, oh, I have to do that. Now, granted, it took me 4 years to come to the point where I was doing it in this way, or rather with this aspect of my life, but I want that. Right. And so I know why I'm there. And so I'm not algorithm led, but I'm still going to learn the algorithm. It's just not number one. Okay. So I was very clear on why I was there. And I was very clear that I was a student. So if it takes me 10 years to figure it out, I'm fine. I'm just going to keep learning, keep iterating, keep trying, keep doing all of those things. So nothing ever affected my consistency. There was never a week I did not produce a video or anything like that. Right. Okay. All right. So consistency. I didn't add this initially, but I'll say that the fourth reason why this worked is really good content. I would be done. And sometimes people were like, oh my goodness, you left everything on the table. And oh my goodness, you're doing that for free. Right? Like, so it's really good content. What that means, because you may say, oh, but my content is not that good. That's not what it means. It means give it your best shot. It means give it your absolute best shot. That's what that means. Okay. So those are the four things. All right. So let's talk outcomes. Okay. Why is it important to talk outcomes? Because 10,000 subscribers is huge and it's a big deal. And I'm very grateful for it. 346,000 views. That's awesome. But in a way, and I say this respectfully, please don't misunderstand me. In a way, it's a vanity metric, right? Like you want that because you want something else after that, right? Like, so I'm very clear, like I want to measure all the way. It's a great metric and I'm not downplaying it at all, but you want to take it a little further. So let me give you 5 things that happen. So the first thing is that, I was telling you those mentorship calls, they ran about, 200 every morning. And in the last 10 months, we've gone as high as 704. And a lot of them, I didn't know this will happen. I was thinking, I was doing this so the people on the mentorship call have somewhere to go watch all these trainings. I didn't know that the YouTube channel would bring people to the mentorship call. Like that's what ended up happening. And so we went from 200 to 700, which is a 252% growth, right? In 10 months, right? Why did that happen? Because of the YouTube channel. Okay. And the second thing is countless lives changed. People learning like all kinds of strategy. Now, this is a faith-based channel, so they're learning all kinds of strategies and it totally changed their lives. It's just so mind-boggling to hear the things that are happening because people are watching those trainings and applying them to their lives, right? Like, so it's absolutely bonkers, which is something that I love. So for me, you've heard me say this so many times on the podcast, like, I'm like, I have my 90th birthday on my mind and I want to leave it all here. When I die, I just want to be able to give an empty body to the ground because I left it all out here. And so me being in a position where I am asleep and there's a YouTube channel where I'm teaching and changing lives all over the world is just crazy. It's just crazy. It's so crazy. And when I say all over the world, I mean it. Like we have had people view it from 70 countries. And so I can't wait to get to 195, but we're at 70. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's number 2. Number 3, I had a series of faith-based books that I had written. There's 3 of them. And, I wrote those before I really understood the business world and stuff like that. Like the first one I think was in 2017 and I didn't even have them on Amazon and I never talked about them, cause when I did those, I was kind of in the hang the shingle and they will come kind of philosophy. And so I promoted it the week it came out and that was it. I found myself, reading, just scanning through one of them. I was like, my goodness, this is good stuff. I was giving good stuff back in the day. So I took all of them and put them back on Amazon and, promoted them on the YouTube channel. And we've had hundreds. I want to say about 500 copies of those 3 books that have been sold. Not in the last 10 months because I started that in November. And so in the last 4 months, almost, right? And so that's been amazing. If you think about it, that's 100 books a month for books that already existed that I just wasn't doing anything with. And again, that's another opportunity. One of them is called The Fight to Become. And one of the books is The Fight to Become. And the thing about that book is, I'm at the time of this recording, I'm 45. I'm going to be 46 next week. And I wrote that book when I turned 39. And I wrote it because I said, it's my birthday coming up and I want to be a gift to my world. And, I don't know everything, but I've learned a lot of lessons in 39 years. And so I was like, why don't I write a book that's kind of reads like a memoir? But I can then share all the things I've learned over the last 39 years. And so I put that in a book. The funny thing about that book is EntreMD didn't exist at the time. So I just want you to think about it. I want you to imagine reading a book from start to finish. There's nothing about EntreMD. There's no EntreMD podcast. There's no EntreMD books. There's no EntreMD business school. There's none of that. There's none of that. No EntreMD live, no speaking on stage, no workshops, none of that. And so it is so encouraging for people when they read it because they say, if all of that happened, like you're a regular person, it helps people see like you're a regular person. Like you have fears just like I had. You started from ground zero just like I'm starting from ground zero. So people would read that and come back and they're like, I get it now. I get what you're talking about now. I get why you keep pushing us now. I get it because you're like, it's available for everyone. Like I used to think you were just a unicorn and only you could do what you do. I'm like, no, I'm people. I'm just like you, right? First of all, there's the YouTube channel that's doing what it does, but the YouTube channel is promoting the book and the book is over there doing its own thing, right? So is the mentorship call, is the Counselor's Life Change, is the book sold? Is the library of legacy content? Oh my goodness. I think we have, I don't know, maybe 80 videos. We have 80 videos on there. Talk about money, building a prayer life, meditation on the word of God, my stories, my money stories, my faith journeys. We talk some about marriage. Like it's fun, but I have that library. And then my daughter watches those, right? I get to teach her and she gets to know about me and my philosophies and all those things more than it's hard to communicate that in conversation. You know what I mean? But she has this library and, her friends all listen to it. those 16 and 17-year-olds. And they're like, well, Dr. Una says, I mean, okay. And the fifth outcome is now I can tell you, this is a strategy. You want to grow YouTube? This is what you need to do. It's just phenomenal. It's really amazing. And I'm beyond grateful. So I just want to spill all the beans. And if you have any questions after this, already in the EntreMD Facebook group, come join it. Just go to EntreMD Physicians in Business on Facebook. You'll find it and request to join it. I have some questions, answer those, and they'll let you into the group. Happy to answer them. I live to serve physicians. That's what I do. But I do want to challenge you to own your brand, especially with the changes that are coming. I saw an article 2 days ago talking about how, with AI is going to force down the cost of delivery of healthcare services and may even include physician salaries where, you should be anticipating a 20% cut in salaries. And one of the things you can do, we don't know what's going to happen, but one of the things you want to do to protect yourself from what is about to come, you want to put yourself in a position where you're in control, where you understand how to create revenue, where you understand how to practice medicine on your terms, live life on your terms. I was interviewing one of my clients. She's a student in the EntreMD Business School. And she said, it seems like there are a lot of changes that are going to be coming, but I'm not afraid of it. I know what to do. I'm ready. Do you see what I'm saying? So she doesn't know what the changes are, but she's like, I'm ready. I'm good. Right. And so I want to challenge you, like building your brand is one of those things. Your brand is a business asset. It's an asset that if carefully curated can be monetized. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you can make hundreds of thousands from a YouTube channel. And maybe I'll do another video and come and talk about monetization strategies, but you can do that. People do that. Children do that. Teenagers do that. So build a brand. And for you, it may not be YouTube. It may be a podcast, but even if it's a podcast, you've picked up so much from here, the things that you need to do, right? It may be a blog. Either way, there are companies that their primary business is a blog and they do multiple 8 figures from a blog. I just want you to leave with this big thought on your mind. You're going to build a dominant brand and it's either going to be a huge source of income for me or it's going to be, a vertical in my business and stuff like that. It's going to open so many doors for me, but I'm not going to hide. So whether it's YouTube or a podcast or a blog, I want you to start owning your brand and I want you to see yourself winning at it because you totally can. Like you're so smart. You know so many things and this is not going to be any different. Okay. So I'm super glad that you were able to come on and you were able to catch all of this. I want you to go start your own. And if you already have one, I want you to relaunch it. I want you to go all in on it. And I'll see you on the next episode of the EntreMD podcast.